Hello and good evening. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of ANF Plus, here to give you a check of the first alert forecast. A lot of weather to talk about here over the next few days. Rain and storms, windy weather, falling temperatures, certainly a weekend of impactful weather. The types of impacts that could certainly cancel your plans or at the very least bring them indoors. So just a heads up, big changes on the way. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin. I want to remind you we are starting this stream on a variety of platforms right now. We're on AtlantaNewsFirst.com, Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, YouTube, Apple TV. In particular, though, YouTube, that's the place to be if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, if you need any clarification on a, admittedly fairly complicated forecast, I should say, though we are confident, and the forecast tomorrow, the rain, the storms, and then the windy cold that returns to the forecast Sunday. So we're going to kind of slowly ease into the first alert forecast. Don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Don't want to get too deep into the nitty-gritty details. So there's a lot to talk about here before we allow some more folks to join the stream. I will be monitoring the YouTube feed as well, and if I do see any new questions coming in, give it a pause, answer the questions, and then we'll keep going through the first alert forecast. And as a reminder, you can reach out to me on social media, even outside of stream time, of course, anytime. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, everything right now is live, open, and here to answer your questions, not just myself, but First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Valdez, also First Alert Meteorologist Fred Campagna, Rodney Harris, Patrick Pete, Ella Dorsey, Courtney Jacobazzi, all here working to keep you updated. Outside right now, we have a live look, and it is mostly cloudy, though still dry, though we have noticed clouds increasing just a bit and lowering just a little bit on the horizon there. So I do think low clouds will increase, maybe some patchy areas of fog developing over the next hour or two, and there probably will eventually be some drizzle and spotty light rain showers in the first alert forecast. And that's just tonight. Tomorrow is still the main show. Tomorrow is still the day in which the likelihood that your plans will be impacted by weather, that's the day that likelihood is nearly a guarantee, 100%. Chat with folks on YouTube, the Avatar, Tom and Jerry Fanatic 2024. Hello to you. Hello. Let me know how you're doing. Hopefully your evening is going well. If you have any other questions, comments, concerns, again, YouTube is the place to ask away. We're going to go ahead and get into the forecast now. Again, an area of low pressure, another strong storm system moving through the south central United States, an area that has been plagued by rounds of heavy rain in the first alert forecast. So just keep that in mind. We have had storm system after storm system really impact much of the south, the mid-south, the southeast as well, and it is yet again a storm system pushing through the southern plains, the Gulf Coast. This is our troublemaker, our impactful weather maker that'll arrive here really starting tonight. We're going to see some of those impacts more, though, so on our Saturday. But widespread rain, even some snow flurries up there in the Texas Panhandle, showers, thunderstorms, heavy rain on across areas that have already been doused with inches of rain over the past few days from the storm system that brought us heavy rain and caused some localized flooding issues here on Friday. So the system will traverse eastward. Weather will go downhill gradually, but I think it will go downhill a little bit overnight tonight. No big issues, but drizzle, some damp roadways, even for those Saturday morning plans. It is the heavier rain, though, that we're really watching out for that'll develop as we get into the mid-morning hours tomorrow. For that reason, a flood watch is in effect. Already have had a decent bit of rain. The soil is saturated, and with additional rainfall amounts, 1, 2, 3 inches, that's pretty easily. Isolated amounts, maybe 4 or 5 inches in a couple of communities. There's just nowhere for that water to go. Area creeks, river streams, elevated soil is saturated, so water will run off pretty quickly, and we could see rises on some of our area rivers. Think about some of our urban creeks like Peachtree Creek, for example, near north side of Atlanta. Those bodies of water could see some significant rises. So we'll be watching it there, not anticipating any widespread road flooding, but underneath the heaviest downpours, it doesn't take much when you have this much pavement. In a city like this, with the rain we're expecting from time to time tomorrow, to see rises on area streets. Water could go over the curbs, just your typical problem spots, probably going to be a little bit problematic tomorrow underneath a couple of these downpours. So going hour by hour, we will notice that yes, we're talking 2 different rounds of rain, and there's a rain chance at pretty much any time tomorrow. But there is some good news kind of tucked into that forecast tomorrow. There will be breaks and the really widespread and constant and heavy sort of rain, the type of rain that makes it very difficult to get out and about. There will be a little bit of a break tomorrow. In fact, hour-by-hour forecast. We'll start it at 6 a.m. Temperatures 50s, lower 60s, unseasonably mild for this time of year. Average high temperatures in the 50s. Tomorrow morning's low temperature will be in the upper 50s and lower 60s. So it's going to be very mild, kind of muggy out the door tomorrow morning. Drizzle, mist, patchy fog, but not a huge issue. But watch what happens 9, 10, 11 a.m. We're going to see what is in Texas now organize itself over the next several hours. A large line of showers and thunderstorms, heavy rain, isolated severe storms embedded within those, that large area of rain, all sweeping eastward as we get into mid and late morning. Now, what I will say is, again, this is forecast radar, not what is actually falling, because we're looking into the future here. So this is a computer model, one run of one computer model. So it may not get the details 100% exactly correct. It's not the forecast itself. It's just one of many tools that we use to put together the forecast. This is forecast radar, though, from this particular forecast model. So obviously where you see the yellows, oranges, reds, even purples, that is heavy rain and possibly strong thunderstorms according to this forecast model pushing eastward across North Georgia and Metro Atlanta as we get into tomorrow. So it does look like first round builds in mid-morning into the noon hour. Your Saturday brunch plans, lunch plans, anything you got going on kind of mid-morning, early afternoon, super soaker. We're talking heavy rain, an inch or two of rain possible with this line of showers and thunderstorms alone. Temperatures, though, pretty mild, mid-60s. So we start the day upper 50s, lower 60s. We're not going to warm much. Temperatures will basically stay in the 60s all day long. Round number one, at least of the constant rain, begins to edge out as we get into the late afternoon, early evening hours. So with any luck, you will have a dry time late afternoon into early evening for dinner plans. Here we are, 7 p.m. Showers and thunderstorms redeveloping off to our west, and there is a little bit of rain, light stuff south and west sides as we get into the 7 o'clock hour, but a little bit of a late afternoon, early evening break. Now, that's the second line of showers and thunderstorms developing off to our west. That'll be pushing eastward over the kind of latter half of the afternoon into the evening. It'll take some time to get into our viewing area, but Cleburne and Randolph counties, well, west of Atlanta, the first to be impacted, and then, of course, Floyd, Chattooga, Heard, Haralson, on down to Troup County. Those areas, the far west side, will be most impacted by this second round of showers and thunderstorms with a greater risk of a few severe thunderstorms across the areas just mentioned. Now, kind of getting to the nitty-gritty here, just looking at this forecast model, it is indicating to me that the potential for strong storms may be greatest with this late afternoon, early evening batch. And do notice we have individual storms kind of in a broken line, and it's the space between these storms that may allow them to rotate a little bit more noticeably, a little bit more significantly. They can get a little bit stronger because it's not, a line of storms necessarily, or just so much in the way of shower and thunderstorms that they kind of tend to limit the ability of each other to really tap into all the ingredients. It's possible that this second line could be maybe not as widespread, but the storms within the line could be just a little bit stronger, more significant, and pushing severe limits as we get into late tomorrow afternoon and early tomorrow evening. It does look like this is an after sunset arrival for the immediate metro, 9-10 p.m. Very quickly eastward, though, and then by early Sunday morning, it's out of here, and the risk of severe weather will be drastically going down. Temperatures also drastically going down, and winds remaining elevated as we get into our Sunday. Let's see. Tom and Jerry Fanatic 2024. So will there be a special to that Snowmageddon that happened in 2014? We did our winter weather special already this year, and we did one as well last year talking about Snowmageddon. Yeah, January 28th is what you're referring to. Yeah, the anniversary is coming up Sunday, so we will be talking about that just a little bit on the newscast, probably running some video and some interviews from the day itself, but no special will be airing here on Atlanta News First. But you can find our previous specials at atlantanewsfirst.com and in the Atlanta News First, the ANF app. To download the app, you can just go to atlantanewsfirst.com or search Atlanta News First or First Alert Weather in your app or Google Play Store. So tomorrow, it's going to be kind of gross. Two very distinct rounds of widespread, constant, heavy rain with embedded strong to severe thunderstorms. One mid-morning to early afternoon. Then maybe a 2, 3, 4 hour lull, and then a second round of more intense weather as we get into tomorrow evening. After sunset, there is still going to be a risk of a few strong to severe thunderstorms, and then the story becomes colder, windier weather filtering in for our Sunday. In fact, this is Sunday morning, 3 a.m., temperatures back in the 40s and 50s. By the time you're really getting out the door on your Sunday morning, 9, 10 a.m., lots of clouds, few sprinkles according to this forecast model. And then tumbling temperatures. Notice how by 10 a.m. we're cooler than we were at 3 a.m. and temperatures really won't warm that much as we get into our Sunday afternoon. It is going to be a very brisk Sunday with gusty winds and temperatures nearly steady in the 40s. In fact, we can take you a little bit further into our Sunday. Here we are at 1 p.m., still 46 in Atlanta. Maybe up to 47 by 3 p.m. You can see sprinkles northwest side, I think North Alabama, East Tennessee, mountains of North Georgia, Blue Ridge, Fannin County, over to Clayton, Rabun County, Clay County, North Carolina. Sprinkles, some wind-blown snow flurries, a few sleet pellets, a possibility in the metro. Lots of clouds, maybe a spritz or two, but it will be cold. And I think it's going to be a little bit of a shock to the system after the near 70-degree weather we've had the past few days, and it will be very windy with winds gusting 30 to 40 miles an hour, and that wind is going to pull in some much, much colder air. And we're talking temperatures barely cracking 50. That's in Atlanta, though, Monday. Mountains probably staying in the 40s. More sunshine, though, back. Mornings cold. Back to our winter reality. Another passing storm system moves by. This one not as impactful, but Tuesday, Wednesday, more clouds. Kind of a reinforcing of the chilly air. Breezy winds kick back in, and afternoon highs back in the low to mid-50s. Wednesday, I think frost freeze conditions most likely Tuesday morning ahead of the clouds, and then again next Thursday and Friday morning as clouds move back out and that fresh batch of chilly air begins to filter back into North Georgia and metro Atlanta. And again, we're always here to keep you covered. We did have some of our early evening newscasts preempted by sports on CBS. We are, though, live. First Alert meteorologist Fred Campagna on Peachtree TV, Atlanta CW affiliate. That'll start at 10 p.m. And then he's covering the late news tonight on ANF Atlanta News First at 11. Full forecast. Then new data coming in as well between now and then. Any minor adjustments to the forecast, again, exact timing may shift just a bit, as it typically does in this sort of scenario, but we're very confident in an overall kind of gloomy, drizzly start to the day. You're lucky if you see any peaks of sunshine Saturday morning. 2 distinct rounds of heavy rain and few embedded surrounding severe thunderstorms. Mid-morning to early afternoon, Metro Atlanta for round 1. Round 2 probably arriving after sunset, and then we all turn much chillier, as the First Alert 7-day forecast shows us, and windier on Sunday. So be alert to a wet Saturday, cold, windy Sunday for any of your plans, and First Alert meteorologist Fred Campagna back here in just a little bit. You can stream the 10 o'clock newscast anywhere you're streaming this particular ANF Plus feed. We're here to keep you updated, and a reminder, you can always reach out to me on social media if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, even outside of news time. Just search Cutter Martin, Cuttermartin, on social media. Have a wonderful evening, and if you don't catch the late news, join First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi starting tomorrow morning on Atlanta News First.